He looked me in the eye. "Do you think I'm fat?" My heart skipped a beat. This wasn't a casual question. I knew it was loaded with years of pain, years of bullying, of self-doubt. I love him. I love everything about him. His body, his laugh, the way his eyes light up. But I also knew how much he struggled. He was trying to change, to lose weight, and I supported him. But this question, this was different. I didn't know what to say. I felt stuck. If I said no, would he believe me? If I said yes, would it crush him? I hesitated. I tried to find the right words, but nothing seemed right. I told him he was bigger than me, but smaller than someone we both knew. I thought that was safe, but it wasn't. His face fell. I quickly added that his weight didn't define him. He got angry immediately. He didn't say anything, just walked away. My stomach dropped. I didn't mean to hurt him, but I did. For days, we barely spoke. The silence was deafening. I wanted to fix it, to make him understand how much I care, but I didn't know how. Eventually, he came to me. He said he wasn't mad. Not at me, anyway. He knew I didn't mean it, but the damage was done. He was hurt. I was left wondering, what should I have said? How could I have avoided this? I didn't want to lie to him, and I didn't want to reinforce his fears. Being fat shouldn't be a bad thing, but he didn't see it that way, and it killed me to see him like that. I just wanted to support him, be there for him more mindfully. But how? How do you help someone when your words fail? I wanted to do better, to communicate better, but I was lost. Looking back, I wish I found better words, words that soothed, not stung. Would it have changed anything? Was I wrong for telling the truth? Would you have done it differently? So there we were, stuck in this weird limbo of silence. I hated it. Every time I saw him, it was like there was this invisible wall between us. I just wanted to break it down, to reach out and let him know that I was there, that I got it, even if I didn't really know how to express it. One night, after another dinner where we barely exchanged more than a few words, I decided I'd had enough. I couldn't let this go on. I needed to say something. Anything. So I sat him down. I told him, "Look, I know I messed up. I said the wrong thing, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad about yourself. I love you, all of you, and I want to help, but I need you to tell me how." He looked at me, really looked at me for the first time in days. He seemed to weigh his words carefully. It's hard. I know you love me, but when you said I was bigger, it just confirmed all my fears. All those voices from the past telling me I'm not good enough, they're hard to silence. I nodded, trying to keep my own emotions in check. I get that. I really do. But know this. Those voices are wrong. You're more than your weight, more than anything those bullies ever said. You're amazing, and I just want to make sure you know that. He gave a small, sad smile. I know you think that. It's just hard for me to see it sometimes. We sat there, the silence now softer, more understanding. I knew this wasn't going to be fixed overnight, but it was a start. We talked more about what he needed, how I could help without overstepping. It was about listening, really listening, and learning to choose my words better. So we started making small changes. We decided to go on evening walks together just to have some time without distractions. It wasn't about exercise, but about spending time together, talking, being present. And slowly, things began to improve. He started to open up more, sharing his thoughts and fears. It wasn't always easy, and I didn't always get it right, but we were learning together. I realized that sometimes it's not about having the perfect words. It's about being there, about showing up, even when you don't have all the answers. And that's what I was going to keep doing. I could feel the shift between us starting to happen. It was subtle, but it was there. A kind of healing that came from just being present. It felt good, like we were finally moving in the right direction. One evening, as we were walking, he turned to me and said, "You know, those walks really help. Just talking like this, it's good for me." His words warmed me, and I felt a small wave of relief. It was a reminder that even small gestures could make a big difference. But I also knew we had a long way to go. He still struggled with his self-image, and there were days when the shadows of his past would cloud over. On those days, I learned to give him space, but not to let him drift too far. I'd remind him, in gentle ways, that I was there. Whether it was a small note left on his desk or a simple "I love you" whispered as he left for work. We started setting small goals together, not just about weight or health, but about life. Planning a weekend trip, trying a new hobby, cooking a new recipe. It was about creating moments that had nothing to do with weight. Moments that reminded us both of the joy we found in each other's company. One night, as we were making dinner together, he suddenly looked at me and said, "I really appreciate you being so patient with me. I know I'm not the easiest person to deal with sometimes." I chuckled, playfully nudging him with my elbow. "Well, I guess you're stuck with me now." He laughed, and it was genuine. That laugh felt like a victory. And so, day by day, we continued to navigate this journey together. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. I learned that sometimes being honest and raw about your feelings is the best way to bridge the gaps that misunderstandings create. Through it all, I realized that love is about more than just accepting someone as they are. It's about growing with them, understanding their struggles, and being willing to stand by them, even when things get tough. So, as I look to the future, I hold on to the hope that our efforts, big and small, will keep lifting us higher. But I can't help but wonder, how do I make sure he truly sees the person I see? One day, as we were lying on the couch watching a movie, he turned to me, his face more relaxed than I'd seen it in a while. "You know, I've been thinking," he said softly, "maybe it's time I talk to someone about all this, like professionally." I can't tell you how relieved I was to hear him say that. I had been thinking the same thing, but didn't want to push it. "I think that's a great idea," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. Inside, though, I was practically cheering. We researched therapists together, and eventually, he found one he felt comfortable with. It was a big step, and I made sure he knew how proud I was of him for taking it. The first few sessions were tough, but slowly he began to unpack the years of bullying and self-doubt he had carried. I could see changes in him, small but significant. He started talking about his sessions, sharing insights he was gaining, and it felt like a weight was being lifted, one session at a time. It made me realize just how deep those scars went, and how brave he was for facing them head on. We continued our walks, our little trips, and our new hobbies, and they all seemed to mean more now. It wasn't just about being together physically, it was about really connecting, understanding each other on a deeper level. One afternoon, while we were out in the park, he said, "You know, I never thought I'd get to a place where I could talk about this stuff without feeling broken." "You're not broken," I said, squeezing his hand. "You're healing, and I'm here for all of it." He smiled, a real smile, one that reached his eyes. It was moments like these that made everything worth it. The journey we were on wasn't just about his weight or his past. It was about redefining what happiness and self-worth meant. I learned that being a partner means more than just being there during the good times. It's about showing up day after day, even when things are difficult. It's about patience and understanding, about holding space for the other person to grow and heal. As we walked back home, I felt a sense of peace. It wasn't perfect, but we were in this together, and that made all the difference. Still, in the quiet moments, a part of me wonders, how can I help him see the amazing person I see every day? As we continued on this journey together, I found myself learning as much as he was. It was like every conversation, every shared moment added a new layer to our relationship. And I realized that this was what love looked like. Not some fairy tale perfection, but the messy, beautiful process of growing alongside one another. One day, after one of his therapy sessions, he came back looking contemplative. He sat down beside me and said, "You know, I talked about us today, about how you've been here through everything." His words caught me by surprise, and I felt a warmth spread through me. "What did you say?" I asked, curious and a little nervous. He took a deep breath and replied, "I told my therapist that you're the reason I finally believe I can change, that maybe I'm worth it." Hearing that was like a balm to my soul. All the patience, all the effort, it felt validated in that moment. But I knew this was just another step in a long journey. As we sat there, I thought about how far we'd come. From awkward conversations about weight to openly discussing therapy, we had built something strong, something resilient. And I was proud of both of us for that. We kept planning those small adventures, trying new things, and cherishing the ordinary moments. Every time he reached a new milestone, no matter how small, I made sure to celebrate it. It was important to acknowledge progress, to remind him of how far he'd come. And then, one evening, as we were sitting outside watching the sunset, he turned to me and said, "You know, for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can actually see a future where I'm happy." Those words were everything. It was like all the pieces were falling into place, and I could see the weight lifting from him piece by piece. He was finding his way back to himself, and I was grateful to be part of that journey. Still, despite all the progress, there's this lingering thought in my mind. Because even though I can see his transformation, there's a part of me that wonders, how do I help him realize he truly deserves every bit of happiness coming his way?